Have you ever wondered how the languages you see around you reflect the culture and identity of a place? In this vlog, we will dive into the world of linguistic landscapes, with a special focus on Singapore, which has a unique mix of languages and cultures. So, what is a linguistic landscape? In social linguistics, the term refers to the use of language in semiotic aspects of the physical environment in public spaces, such as street signs, advertisements, shop names, and even scents and sound. It shows us what languages are spoken and valued in our society. In layman terms, it's what you see and experience as you walk around these spaces. Even simpler things like words on your neighborhood signboards, languages used at hawker stalls, or even graffiti. These all tell a story about our past and how it has resulted in our current identity as a society today.
But apart from our 4 official languages, it is common to see many other languages in Singapore's linguistic landscape of today. The moment you get off the plane at Changi Airport, you are bound to see signs of Japanese as well. These are also common in tourist hotspots like Marina Bay Sands and Orchard Road to cater to tourists.
Now, follow along and let us show you the linguistic landscapes of Singapore.
We all know that Singapore is a multicultural society, which results in a vast linguistic variety. In 2024, Singapore's Linguistic Diversity Index, or LDI for short, was at 76%. This means that the likelihood that any 2 people within the country will have a different native language is at 76%. The LDI is generally higher in countries where many languages are spoken. Our linguistic diversity is also embraced by the decision to have English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil as our official languages. It also reflects the major ethnic groups present in Singapore. While walking around in Singapore, you may come across signs that have those 4 languages, especially if they are produced by the government. But did signs always look like that? What about in the past? Firstly, did you know that the Jawi script was used to write Malay in Singapore? The transition to Rumi, a Romanized script, only occurred under British rule due to colonial influences and modernization initiatives. Let's travel back in time to look at what Singapore's linguistic landscape was like in the past. Generally, we can see that monolingual signs in Chinese and Malay were more prevalent, and in one sign, Malay was placed on top instead of English. In the present day, English is prevalent in most signs in Singapore. A 2020 study revealed that English is the most used spoken language at home for 48.3% of Singaporeans. English is also the most spoken language worldwide, with approximately 1.5 billion people speaking it natively or fluently in 2023. Immigration has also brought more people from all over the world to call Singapore their home. Most come from neighboring countries such as Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Myanmar, and Vietnam. Have you heard of Peninsula Plaza being Little Myanmar? Or how Lucky Plaza is like a mini Philippines in Singapore? These derive from the strong presence of each community in those places. But those places' linguistic landscape also helps in creating their identity. Take a look at Peninsula Plaza, where the Burmese community has a strong presence. Similarly, shop signs are in Burmese, with some having English translations. The moment you walk inside, you are greeted with the smell of fresh vegetables and some herbs that are not commonly used in Singaporean cuisine. We can also see a Burmese version of Singapore's I Can Act Against Scams campaign. This was produced to raise people's awareness and knowledge to recognize and avoid scams. A Burmese version placed in Peninsula Plaza creates better accessibility and reach to migrant workers from Myanmar who might not be highly proficient in English. Now, we will head over to Lucky Plaza. Let's take a look at this hiring sign. The most prominent text is Hiring Kami, which is Tagalog for we're hiring. The Tagalog text is made prominent as the restaurant, Andox, that produced the sign, is a well-known chicken restaurant in the Philippines. It is also common to see Tagalog words strewn in with English words on shop signs, the most notable ones being Barkada, which means a close friend group, and Glowing Ka Girl, which means Are You Glowing Girl? But for the latter, it also infuses Filipino pop culture and slang. As a Filipino myself, seeing these signs make me feel the strong presence of a Filipino community in Lucky Plaza and makes me feel at home. Wanting to seem the most authentic might also be the reason why they use Tagalog in their shop names.
A walk along Orchard Street this season greets you with the sights and sounds of Christmas cheer. Let's head over to Takashimaya, a Japanese chain of department stores. Here, we see many types of Japanese produce, with promotional signboards in both English and Japanese. Now, let's visit more of Singapore's ethnic enclaves. Under the bilingual policy, all students are required to master English as their first language, and also learn their mother tongue as a second language. These include Mandarin Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. Due to the increasing importance of English as an international language, many Singaporeans have started to pay more attention to the learning of English and focus less on the learning of their own mother tongue. The bilingual policy was then enacted to prevent the erosion of language, culture, and heritage of the three ethnic groups. And we can see that signs in these ethnic enclaves still reflect Singapore's rich language culture. Linguistic landscapes is not just about words and language. It is about identity, inclusion, and a sense of belonging. It reflects our identity as a society. When you see the languages you speak, especially languages that are tied to your racial and cultural identity, it serves as a validation. It shows that you are part of this community. The multilingual signage also promotes social harmony. No one feels left out, whether you are a local or a tourist. Economic opportunities also come by when multiple languages are available to cater to global businesses. We saw lots of signs on our tour of Singapore. Let's look at the different linguistic labels we can use to categorize these signs. Top-down signs contain official information, often related to regulations, designations, or public announcements communicated by institutions. Here are some examples. Bottom-up signs contain all other types of information that is communicated by private, commercial, or subcultural actors. Here are some examples. Ephemeral signs are ones that are temporary and will fade away with time, such as graffiti. Permanent signs are ones that are made to last, such as street signs. Different sounds, music, smells, and even the human body also contribute to linguistic landscapes. Signs can be mobile and transient. The concept of human bodies acting as carriers of linguistic messages is embodiment.
In conclusion, Singapore's current linguistic landscape is a mirror reflection of our history, culture, and identity as a country. It's a vibrant mosaic that brings together our diverse communities, building a strong nation that adapts and advances towards the future together. Perhaps the next time you go out, take some time to observe the languages and signs around you. What kind of story do they tell you about where you are standing at that moment?